Are we recording? Oh, we are.
We're recording.
I think we are recording. I know how this works. Hold on. Get me to the interwebs.
That's it. I've got one. Install it.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
You remember when we left Sharjah that one time and had to go straight to Germany?
Yes.
So we went from the most conservative, dry as in no alcohol and dry heat, emirate, straight into
Oktoberfest. Or just about. I think we missed Oktoberfest by a week, but the city was still kind of hungover.
I can you really tell when it is Oktoberfest and it isn't when you're in Munich? It's a very fine line.
You can. If you're in Munich during Oktoberfest, you'll know exactly that it's Oktoberfest, believe me.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be fair, we didn't have to step over any passed out bodies in the road. And, yeah.
And most of the bodies that you have to step over during Oktoberfest are Aussies and Kiwis. It's not German, believe me.
They just can't hold their liquor, can they? No. Nope. But man, that was like a dichotomy of culture going from Sharjah to Oktoberfest.
It was.
I mean, went from sipping a nice iced tea to end your day to like
a massive
steins of beer bigger than my head.
It was quite fun, and yeah, I've lived in Germany, and I've visited it a lot, and I can never get any business done in Germany. I just can't concentrate.
Can't figure out
well, I love being back. I love the food. The beer is just next level, and I've just always got half an eye out the side of my head to when's it all over, when we're gonna hit the restaurant or the bars.
Well, we didn't manage it very well because we went to the beer garden and then took our laptops out as if we were gonna get work done.
Like that was ever gonna work.
Yeah. Well, not only was I drinking a stein as big as my head, I was trying to eat a dumpling as big as my head as well.
Well, yeah, and if I think anyone that just really needs to up their carbs, Germany's the place to go. Whether it's physically possible to write a series of emails about a complex innovation project while drinking a massive stein of beer and eating a noodle and a pork knuckle the size of you, as you say, your own head.
I think on the menu it said, "Do you want the dumpling that's the size of a small child or a teenager?" It was like it was in body weight, you know.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's in body weight.
Yeah.
Man, we didn't get any work done. I mean, we were there for an innovation conference.
We were there to sort of cook some stuff up and try and cook it.
And our colleague was with us, Nadia.
She certainly was.
That was a threesome. Yeah, we had. So she found as she does, she found the food spots for us.
We did, and we did have a couple of really, really good meals. Although I do remember on the last day we were kind of wandering around a bit lost. We had like an hour or two before our flight, and I remember we'd sort of done all our work, or we were too drunk to sort of continue doing work, but we weren't quite ready to go to the airport. And I just remember us finding a cheesecake shop.
Wait, first we went to the train station to try to stash all of our luggage.
That's right.
Yeah. So you did the traditional, where's there a luggage locker around here? So we locked that up. So you didn't want to be encumbered when you were trying to drink and eat.
Yeah. And you've also probably put on half a stone since you arrived in the city, because that's Germany. So yeah. But I just remember us sitting in this cheesecake shop, and I think all of us looking at each other, just going, "It's probably time we just went home," because with a combination of the alcohol and the dumplings. Yeah. I mean, I should point out that there's a lot of healthy options in Germany.
I didn't see. There are.
There are, believe me.
The only way you were our interpreter, because you said that you'd lived in Germany. So you were the only one amongst us that spoke German, and you never mentioned any healthy options when you were interpreting.
Yeah, that was more about me and my love of carbohydrates.
Yeah. The one thing that sticks in my mind about this trip, and it is a work portion of that trip, was we signed up for the thing late, right? Because the office needed people to go, and so they told us kind of at the last minute, you guys are going from Sharjah to Munich, and so we were at some like Holiday Inn Express out on the outskirts of town. Remember that? Yeah. It was like there was nothing there, and so every day the conference had a shuttle that went from the hotel into the conference, and we were in the van. And there was a couple other people in the van with us going to the conference as well. And I was asking you about something my son had drawn at school. He drew a hedgehog. And I said, what is it about? It seems like I see a lot of hedgehog kind of stuff in England, like schools. My kid draws a lot of hedgehogs. It's kind of like the kids drawing the turkey for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And
I asked you if it was is that like an English thing? And you were like, yeah,
it's a pretty sort of it's a pretty ubiquitous sort of symbol of kind of like rural / semi-rural England. There's a real affection for the hedgehog.
Yeah.
And it's like the feral camels of Australia, because in Victorian times, no, I'm not gonna go there. Don't worry. But yeah, I think if the hedgehog wasn't like a small spiky rodent type thing, it might be the national symbol of Britain. But I think they probably thought, actually, on balance, let's go with the lion.
Right. So you were explaining this to me.
Yeah.
And there was another guy in the van who decided to butt into our conversation, and he basically told you, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. What are you talking about, hedgehog? Do you remember this?
I do, but only vaguely. Yeah, he got a bit defensive, didn't he? And was he English?
Yeah, more than a bit. I thought it was going to come to fisticuffs. I mean, he was like you're talking shit, man. You know, who are you? What is this? And they're not, all the way to like when we got to the conference, and then we got out of the van, and he was still like, no.
I think what he was struggling with more than the idea of hedgehogs being a popular and loved creature in England was perhaps my sarcasm that they almost made it onto the national crest. And I think there was a bit lost in translation, because when I'm saying stupid stuff, I often say it with a straight face, and sometimes people don't quite get the joke.
I think you really struck a nationalist chord with him. Yeah. I mean, he's still pissed off at you. That was 3 years ago.
I just think he was deeply offended at the idea of Nelson's column in Trafalgar Square being flanked by 4 hedgehogs as opposed to 4 lions. And I can understand that, but
I think that would look cool.
I call it humor.
You know what I say, man? I say that is some crazy shit.